Hi, my name is Jacqueline Flowers. Welcome to my channel. Yes, this is my first YouTube video. Yes, I've stressed about this for way longer than I care to admit. And yes, I did spend the past hour repositioning this camera. I'm just gonna roll with it. So I kind of want to talk about a bunch of things, but I'm going to start with one. And I guess it's kind of an unpopular opinion. The thing that I wanted to talk about was discrimination. And this is something that is kind of really close to home for me, obviously, and something that I've kind of wanted to either speak about or, I don't know, just do something about for quite a while and not really known how. And I've also wanted to start a YouTube channel for quite a while and not really known how to do that either. So I thought I'm going to try and merge the two because it is something that I feel like should be spoken about a little bit more. Maybe it is spoken about more and I just haven't been exposed to it, but I personally don't feel like it's something that's really recognised that much, or if it is, it's one of those things that's kind of like, you know, accepted and we're just like, oh, we have to deal with it and then carry on, you know, with our life. The fact that it's kind of feels not okay but accepted that we still, or that people still discriminate against people that have not necessarily tattoos but a lot of tattoos. A really good example of this is not that long ago was applying for different jobs. I traditionally work in healthcare and social care, but at this time I thought I'm going to try something different, and I'd kind of always had a bit of an interest in working in like an estate agent, mainly because I'm really chatty and I don't know, I talk a lot and I guess that helps me get on with people and I like a face-to-face role. I applied to a bunch of places and I got, I don't know, I think it was like 3 or 4 people get back to me because they wanted to speak to me for an interview. And I had a LinkedIn profile at the time. The reason I had this was obviously for like professional use, but I had it because it had a profile picture and I purposely had my face on it in the hopes that anybody that was going to kind of contact me for something would have looked at that first and saw, okay, she has tattoos, that's fine. That wasn't the case. So what happened was, when I was contacted for interviews, I said to them, have you looked at my LinkedIn profile? Because there's a picture of me on there and I have quite a lot of visible tattoos. I have them on my face and my neck and my hands. And when I said this, you know, I think there was one of them that said, okay, as long as they're not offensive, it would kind of depend on what you've got. Like, we'd have to see you first. But the other 2 people that I spoke to said, sorry, it doesn't look professional, so, you know, we wouldn't take you on. And that for me was like, it was kind of a kick in the teeth. I've always had kind of a bit of an issue with having kind of like a judgment made against me. Not necessarily always a bad one, like, let me put this out there. I definitely do not get issues as such for being tattooed. I actually get a lot of compliments on my tattoos, or people ask me if they hurt, which is obviously nice, but there are also these other issues that you face. And so that was really the main thing that got me to thinking about how tattoos are discriminated against in a workplace, and, you know, a judgment is kind of made about you when people don't necessarily know you. It kind of led me down a path of shocked but not that shocked, in a sense that we've all acknowledged that it's not okay to discriminate against somebody for their sexual orientation or for how they may identify their gender, and for religious reasons, whether you have a disability or whether you are pregnant or whether you're sick. There's all these things out there that say, oh, you can't discriminate against this particular category, for lack of a better word. The only thing out there that you can still use to discriminate somebody, and in a really kind of visual way, you know, you're literally saying, you don't look right for this part, you don't look professional enough. Those were literally the words that were said to me, as it's not professional. It's the only thing left that you're allowed to kind of look at somebody and say, you don't look right for this. Maybe it's just me, maybe I'm overreacting, but it felt really unfair. I mean, there's all these other things out there that you're not allowed to look at them and say, that's not okay for us, you know, like, you don't look right. Just saying that to somebody, for whatever the reason, saying you don't look right for this doesn't feel that great. And I understand that businesses have standards, and I understand that, you know, it's not necessarily a look that some people want for their company, and everybody has their right for that. I'm not going against that and saying you can or can't have it for your own business. I guess it's like a personal choice. It's their choice to say yes or no, just like it was my choice to get tattoos. And I'm happy with my choice to have tattoos, but it just seemed a bit unfair that it's, like I say, the one thing that you can still kind of say, no, you don't look right for me. It's kind of interesting to me. Maybe I'm making it a bigger deal than it is, but I kind of just wanted to bring up the subject and maybe get people thinking and kind of hear what somebody else's opinion of it is. Another thing also is I have had people say to me that I'm friends with later on, yeah, I did find you kind of intimidating at first, or there are people who look at somebody covered in tattoos and think that maybe they're not very nice or they're not very respectful, and that they may choose to kind of just generally avoid that person based on how they look. But the way I find it is that as long as they're not offensive, obviously, and they're not kind of done in a way to purposely intimidate somebody or give off like a general impression that is negative, most people who are covered in tattoos are the same as people who aren't covered in tattoos. You know, they can be nice or can be horrible just like everybody else, but it really doesn't define who they are as a person. Everybody has their own reasons for doing what they do with their bodies, and my reason for having loads of tattoos is just I'm very creative and expressive, and I just feel like personally my body is a blank canvas and I get to fill it, and it's kind of fun. It's like a giant colouring book that will never really get full, and I guess, yeah, okay, it could get full, but when that happens I'll go back and, you know, carry on with all the other things that I haven't finished yet. It's just a way to kind of express myself more, just like we pick the clothes that we put on every day and things that we say to people and the way we do our hair and the way we do our makeup. Okay, I get that some of the stuff you can change, you can rub out or take off, but the point is for me that I enjoy having freedom to express myself, but it does feel a little bit like that freedom is confined to, okay, you can do this with yourself and you can do this with your body, but just know that it has consequences that mean that you may not be able to get this job, you may not be able to work up to a professional standard, or you may not be taken seriously as somebody who doesn't have this look. For example, one of the things that I was interested in growing up and that I think I'd be good at because I'm really good at arguing and debating is being a lawyer. And I'm not chasing that path now, but I feel like that's unrealistic for me. I just can't do that because who would hire me looking like this? And I know that that's not the case for every person. Don't get me wrong, like I really am just speaking from my own opinion here, and it's okay for somebody else to agree or disagree. That is something that I feel like I categorically cannot do, because I wouldn't have enough people hire me and I wouldn't have enough people wanting me to represent them and enough people taking me seriously to allow me to have a successful career in that. Like the police force is something else that I have been interested in. I may be wrong because I do see police and stuff with tattoos and everything, but when I was looking before, there was kind of guidelines on there about not having tattoos on your hand. I've had a lot of people say, what about this job? You can't do this if you have tattoos on your neck, on your face. Are you sure you want to do this? No, I want to live my life the way I want to live my life, like expressing myself however I want. But it is kind of a sad reality knowing that with this choice comes all of these consequences. If you are somebody who kind of works for a business or something that says this isn't something that we would hire, you're not somebody that we would employ based on the things that I've spoken about today, or if you are somebody that finds yourself judging other people, that's not to say it's necessarily in a bad way, but we are all guilty on a certain level of secretly judging somebody, whether we mean to or not. Everybody does make these little judgments because of connotations that are out there, that it's not really a bad thing on you it is something that you do. But if it is, I'm kind of interested to hear, why is this still a thing? With all the other things that are pushed for as a recognition or rights or movement, all of these things that are now out there as, no, this isn't okay to do that to somebody. People should be accepted for who they are and how they are. Why is this thing not really talked about, and why has this not changed? It's just something that I have felt for a very long time. The more people that I'm exposed to, the more I do kind of see this happening. Maybe this gave you something to think about, maybe not. Maybe you disagree, and all of that is fine. I'm definitely not here to kind of cause any grief for anybody or point fingers at anybody or even say that I'm right. It's just my personal experience, and I'm kind of interested to hear other people's experience as well. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my first video. Sorry it was proper awkward to start off. Sorry the lighting isn't great. I work 12-hour days and I've been putting this off for so long, and it is now after work, and I was determined to film this video because I've been putting it off and I knew that I just wasn't going to get it done. I kind of forced myself to just sit down and do it. I've watched videos on making first videos and everybody says that you don't really love your first video, but I thought if I didn't get it done, I never would. If you did watch, thanks for watching, and if you are interested in coming back, listening to something else of me rambling on, there are a bunch of different things I want to talk about, not just unpopular opinions. I really want to kind of just talk about things that mean stuff to me, but also just do things that I enjoy watching other people do, you know, kind of like reactions, communicating with people who are watching. And so if you did watch me today, thank you very much. I hope to see you again, and bye for now.